Uganda has increasingly experienced a series of extreme weather events leading to significant disasters including floods, landslides, fires, accidents, heavy storms and hailstorms, in addition to epidemics and sudden refugee influxes. These disasters have had a severe impact on the population, claiming lives, destroying livelihoods, and damaging family, community, and public infrastructure. The country has also received large numbers of refugees and migrants, which has increased pressure on the local resources and demand for assistance.
We have also experienced the refugee influx from our neighbors, such as Congo, Ethiopia, Somalia, and many other parts in the whole world.
According to recent joint studies conducted by the Office of the Prime Minister and International Organization for Migration, over 222,000 people were severely affected in 2021, with an addition of 38,000 people impacted by weather-related disasters in 2023.
So tumanyire mbera tuwatiramu kusaba gavumenti etuyirukire kuba amajuga kiwekere coronavirus niye kaija tukiyakora kurungi nkeira.
Currently, Uganda hosts a total of 1.6 million refugees, with southwestern Uganda being the region most affected by these calamities. This situation has created an immediate need for rapid response efforts, including food assistance, non-food items, and hygiene promotion to support the affected population. However, local humanitarian frontline actors, especially governments, continue to face challenges due to inadequate capacity to respond to disasters and emergencies.
As a local government, we don't have funds allocated to disaster. We rely on Oxfam, Office of the Prime Minister.
While progress has been made in terms of national and international policy commitments, much remains to be done in practice.
With this information, we will be enriching that local, the indigenous knowledge to be boosted, to be able to appreciate and say, when we get a problem, how do we address it?
In this context, with support from Conrad and Hilton Foundation, local humanitarian actors were empowered to provide rapid emergency assistance to affected communities and engage in advocacy and influence at various levels to challenge the status quo. The emergency response interventions included joint assessments and distribution of food and non-food relief items by local actors working in collaboration with district officials. Additionally, the project supports the development of community-led actions where local communities were assisted in reconstructing bridges that had been swept away, which was critical in enhancing resilience and promoting ownership. With coordination from World Voices Uganda and other local civil society organizations, regional policy engagement dialogues were spearheaded to assess the capacity of local governments to respond to emergencies. These dialogues aimed to generate policy position papers by local actors, both national and international policy influence.
We've been able to organize regional policy dialogues where local governments and other local humanitarian actors came together to identify policy gaps, so that then they can take up those powers that are responsible in ensuring that actually we provide a legal and policy framework that is pro-people.
Further support enabled the convening of a national policy influencing dialogue, which brought together policymakers, members of parliament, development partners, and international humanitarian organizations, the private sector, local actors, and signatories to the Grand Bargain Framework and the Charter for Change. The National Policy Dialogue focused on influencing policy shifts and called for the fulfillment of commitments in various national and international agreements to embrace the capacity of local governments to respond effectively to disasters.
Acting ahead of emergencies will be easy.
As a result, members of parliament pledged to push forward the pending disaster risk management bill and operationalize the contingency fund.
I want to ask that we coordinate with the chairperson of a forum at Parliament so that we take this forward. There are so many bills that have been processed, and this cannot be an exceptional bill that will not find its way on the floor of Parliament and dispersed.
What is disaster? If we understand the word disaster, then we are good to go.
The Western Uganda Humanitarian Platform emphasizes the need for stronger humanitarian actions, particularly in policy formulation, funding and capacity building for local humanitarian actors.
That there is a need, for example, if we are talking about one of the commitments is about flexible financing. How are you going to ensure that actual flexible financing and the financing that goes to the local actors to be able to take decisions and shift power, how are you going to achieve that without introducing policy reforms?
We continue, to share and how we can deepen our collaboration with the different platforms, with the C4C and all the others. We also have the Secretariat, a ministerial group of signatories to the C4C and others. So we need to maximize all opportunities that can make us speak to each other.